hands. I try to explain how it makes me feel, the awesome power of my hands on the wheel. If I can't find the words to set things right, I just scoot over and I let my baby drive. She likes big boy toys, motors and lights, knobs and switches and a four-wheel drive. Running up the road or crawling across the farm, and when they break down I jack them up in the yard. Pull out my tools, my pride and joy. Man, you gotta love them, big boy toys. It's boats and cars, tractors and trucks, gasoline and diesel fuel are running through my blood. I like them big boy toys, motors and lights, knobs and switches and
Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Sometimes it feels like this world's gone crazy. Grandpa, take me back to yesterday, when the line between right and wrong didn't seem so hazy. Did lovers really fall in love to stay, stand beside each other, come what may? Is promise really something people kept, not just something they would say? Families really bow their heads to pray, daddies really never go away. Oh, oh, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Everything is changing fast, we call it progress, but I just don't know. And Grandpa, let's wander back into the past, then paint me the picture of long ago. Lovers really fall in love to stay, stand beside each other, come what may? Is promise really something people kept, not just something they would say and then forget? Families really bow their heads to pray, daddies really never go away. Oh, oh, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Oh, oh, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days.
Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, then go to town and stay past midnight at a meeting of the school board. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to sit up all night with a newborn colt and watch it die, then dry his eyes and say, maybe next year. I need somebody who can shape an axe handle from a persimmon sprout, shoe a horse with a hunk of car tire, who can make harness out of hay, wire, feed sacks, and shoe scraps, who planting time and harvest season will finish his 40-hour week by Tuesday noon, and then pain in from tractor back, put in another 72 hours. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody strong enough to clear trees and heave bales, yet gentle enough to yean lambs and wean pigs and tend the pink-combed pullets, who will stop his mower for an hour to splint the broken leg of a meadowlark. So God made a farmer. It had to be somebody who'd plow deep and straight and not cut corners, somebody to seed, weed, feed, breed, and rake and disc and plow and plant and tie the fleece and strain the milk, somebody who'd bail a family together with the soft, strong bonds of sharing, who would laugh and then sigh and then reply with smiling eyes when his son says that he wants to spend his life doing what Dad does. So God made a farmer.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer. On the 9th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, uh-oh, that caretaker needs help. So God made a farmer's wife. God said, I need someone willing to get up before dawn, dress 75 chickens, weed the garden, cook breakfast, dinner, and supper, and then go to town for parent-teachers conferences at 3 different schools. So God made a farmer's wife. I need somebody with arms strong enough to carry a basket of wet coveralls up the basement stairs and out to the clothesline, and yet gentle enough to cradle a cantankerous child. Somebody willing to darn socks, wash windows, varnish floors, bake pies and apricot bars, hem skirts, freeze enough green beans and sweet corn to last through the winter, peel a bushel of peaches, make strawberry rhubarb jam, and over the years be a caregiver for mother and father, mother-in-law, brother, sister, aunt, husband, and children, and tell them all to call whenever they need something, and mean it. So God made a farmer's wife. God said, I need someone willing to nurse kids through the mumps, chicken pox, and both kinds of measles. I need somebody who can drive 5 kids into town at 3 different times in one morning and be home by noon to cook dinner for her husband and the hired man. I need somebody who can host family reunions, be a PTA room mother, schedule the tooth fairy, keep Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas traditions alive across the generations, and plan birthday parties and weddings. Who every week of the year will finish her 40-hour week by Tuesday noon, and then put in another 72 hours. So God made a farmer's wife. God had to have somebody willing to go it alone in euchre, play catch, roll 5 of a kind in Yahtzee, run the bases, beat everyone in croquet, and race to keep a toddler from wandering out in the barnyard during harvest season. So God made a farmer's wife. God said, I need someone strong enough to refinish 300 pieces of furniture and yet gentle enough to cuddle babies, change diapers, and read the pokey little puppy, who will conduct a funeral for a dead kitten and then serve cookies afterwards. It had to be someone who'd mow the lawn straight and trim around all the trees and fences, somebody to seed, read, weed, feed, and rake and clean and polish and plant and tie shoes and iron shirts and pasteurize milk and fill the deep freezer and finish a hard day's work with a 2-mile drive to Annunciation Church, where she'd chair the rummage sale, clean the sanctuary, decorate for Christmas, and serve as a reader. So God made a farmer's wife. Somebody who'd stitch a family together with soft, strong bonds of family meals and caring and sharing, who would smile to see her kids doing what mom and dad did, and to hear them say there's no better way to grow up than on a farm at Rural Route 3.
She cooks with lard, loves hot food bars, a quart of sweet tea and fried pork skins. Can't get enough, eats till she's stuffed. Goes to the bathroom, then she comes back again. She thinks she looks just like Madonna when she runs her greasy fingers through her bleached blonde hair. Most times she'll place another order, and Lordy have mercy on that little bitty chair. She's got a butt bigger than the Beatles, eating me out of house and home. Her booty size, well, it ought to be illegal. She has a hard time sitting on the throne. Hamburgers, hot dogs, cheese fries and coleslaw, a dozen bear claws, yum, yum, yum. Loves sausage links, hates diet drinks, takes up both seats in a two-seater car. Her doctor said, lay off the bread, but he didn't say nothing about a Snickers bar. She drinks sweet milk by the gallon, and she'd never eat a salad or a lean cuisine. Then she'll lay spread out on the hammock after she's done her damage at the Dairy Queen. She's got a butt bigger than the Beatles. Folks make fun cause she's overgrown. Her rump shaped like a Volkswagen Beetle. She gives new meaning to the words big bone.
Put on your Bobby socks, baby. Roll up your old blue jeans. There's a band playing down at the Armory. Knows what rock and roll really means. I wanna ride in your 55 T-Bird. Drive through some old memories. I ain't after your body, baby. I just want you to dance with me. I'm gonna bop with you, baby, all night long. I'm gonna bop the night away. I wanna make it a night like it used to be, when our hearts were young and our souls were free. I'm gonna bop with you, baby, all night long. I'm gonna bebop you, baby, till the break of dawn. I wanna bop you, baby, all night long. I got an old photograph in my pocket. We were still in our teens. Lord knows I feel a lot older now, but you still look the same to me. Honey, you don't ever laugh like you used to, and I don't want to see you blue. If you ain't busy tonight and you think it's alright, this is what I wanna do. I'm gonna bop with you, baby, all night long. I'm gonna bop the night away. I wanna make it a night like it used to be, oh, when our hearts were young and free. I'm gonna bop with you, baby, all night long. I'm gonna bebop you, baby, till the break of dawn. I'm gonna bop you, baby, all night long. Let's twist and shout, oh, just like in the good old days. Baby, watch out. You know I just can't stand it when you look at me that way. I wanna bop with you, baby, all night long. I'm gonna bebop you, baby, till the break of dawn. I'm gonna bop you, baby, all
older I get, the more I think you only get a minute. Better live while you're in it, 'cause it's gone in a blink. And the older I get, the truer it is. It's the people you love, not the money and stuff that makes you rich. And if they found a fountain of youth, I wouldn't drink a drop, and that's the truth. Funny how it feels, I'm just getting to my best years yet. The older I get, the fewer friends I have. But you don't need a lot, and the ones that you've got have always got your back. And the older I get, better I am in knowing when to give and when to just not give a damn. And if they found a fountain of youth, I wouldn't drink a drop, and that's the truth. Funny how it feels, I'm just getting to my best years yet. The older I get. I don't mind all the lines from all the times I've laughed and cried, souvenirs and little signs of the life I've lived. The older I get, the longer I pray. I don't know why, I guess that I've got more to say. And the older I get, the more thankful I feel for the life I've had and all the life I'm living still.
And on the sixth day, God looked down on Adam in his planned paradise and said, I need a nurturer. So God made a mother. God said, I need someone who feels deeply and loves fiercely, whose tears flow just as abundantly as their laughter, whose heart is as warm as their ability to guide and set limits as strong. I need someone whose influence on those that they nurture is eternal. So God made a mother. God said, I need someone who can hear a sneeze through closed doors in the middle of the night, 3 bedrooms away, who can kiss the boo-boos, scare away the monsters under the bed, clean up the middle of the night accidents. So God made a mother. God said, I need someone who can ride the roller coaster of anxiety, hope, fear, and pride with an outward appearance of calm assurance as she sends her child off to his first day of school, and again 13 years later when she sends that same child off to college. I need someone who will buy the school supplies, drive for the field trips, help study for the history test, fill out the permission forms, clap from the back row of the spring musical, and help coach a sport she's never played. So God made a mother. God said, I need somebody who realizes that children need to be allowed to grow, gain confidence in themselves, and be encouraged to be independent individuals and accept the path they choose. Somebody who realizes that their job is one where the better they are, the more surely they won't be needed in the long run. Somebody whose breath will be taken away when they visit their first newborn grandchild in the hospital and their daughter looks at them with loving eyes and says, "I hope I can be the kind of mom you are, Mom." So God made a mother.
American preachers tell me that there is no sermon which is looked forward to with less enthusiasm than a sermon about sin. Well, that's probably true if we're talking about a secular sermon on the subject of hard work. There is no gospel less popular than the gospel of hard work. I could ask you today, I could ask you right now to demonstrate your faith in America by handing poison to snakes, and many or most of you would. I could outline a fundamental Christian code of conduct which strictly forbids the use of stimulants or sedatives or the wearing of jewelry, and many would, willingly and without question, accept and be bound by such abstinence. Our leaders could readily rally you to fight and die for your country, as they have many times, and you would even again. But if Paul Harvey or any politician should state that our only chance for survival is to get off our dead centers and get to work, well, I'd be lucky if you'd let me finish. But I'm going to test my luck today. You see, I don't happen to be running for or from anything, and that does make a difference. The pregnant skyline of America was set in place one brick at a time. Now, that represents a lot of calluses. America the Beautiful is not an accomplished fact guaranteed to remain intact. God shed his grace on thee, to be sure, but this was wasteland when God had it to himself. He handed man a hoe and said, "You want another Eden? All right, earn it." And all that's necessary for the weeds to take over again is for you and me to lay down that hoe. Now, Americans, the problem is less acute today than it has been. We're on the right track right now. But if we sit down on that track, I'm afraid we're going to get run over. We tell our young people how our country was carved out of the wilderness. No, it wasn't. Our nation was not carved out of the wilderness. Our nation was hammered and hoed and chopped and dug and sawed and clawed out of the wilderness by bare-handed men who asked nothing for nothing. America did not start out with an agricultural production that's the awe and envy of the world. It was seeded first by sod-busting farmers who fought Indians and ranchers and cold and heat and drought and bugs and flood and one another. The fruited plain sprang forth from barren acres only after they had been watered with a lot of sweat. I guess what I'm saying is that the more history I study, ours and others, the more certain I am that there is one fertilizer essential to the survival of civilization, and that fertilizer is sweat. And I don't mean perspiration. I mean the kind of steamy, streamy, salty sweat that's wrung from a man by hard physical work. Somehow, the sweat gets into the soil of a farm or a factory or a city or a state or a nation, and everything thereabouts grows tall and strong and tough enough to stand against any storm. But the day the sweat dries up, the soil dries up, and whole civilizations are buried in dust.
And on the 9th day, God looked down on his wide-eyed children and said, "They need a companion." So God made a dog. God said, I need somebody willing to wake up, give kisses, pee on a tree, sleep all day, wake up again, give more kisses, then stay up until midnight basking in the glow of a television set. So God made a dog. God said, I need somebody willing to sit, then stay, then roll over. Then with no ego or complaint, dress in hats they don't need and costumes they don't understand. I need somebody who can break wind without a first care or second thought, who can chase tails, sniff crotches, fetch sticks, and lift spirits with a lick. Somebody who, no matter what you didn't do or couldn't take or didn't win or couldn't make, will love you without judgment just the same. So God made a dog. God said, I need somebody strong enough to pull sleds and find bombs, yet gentle enough to love babies and lead the blind. Somebody who will spend all day on a couch with a resting head and supportive eyes to lift the spirits of a broken heart. So God made a dog. It had to be somebody who'd remain patient and loyal, even through loneliness. Somebody to care, cuddle, snuggle and nuzzle and cheer and charm and snore and slobber and eat the trash and chase the squirrels. Somebody who would bring a family together with the selflessness of an open heart. Somebody who would bark and then pant and then reply with rapid wag of tail when their best friend says, let's go for a ride in the car. So God made a dog.
Well, my old John Deere finally broke down. Used it every day, drove it into the ground. So I went to get a new one way uptown. But I was out of luck, 'cause they were all out. So I found a used tractor on Craigslist. There was no picture, but I couldn't resist. It seemed like a good deal, but now I regret it. If you wanna know why, go take a look at it. I got stuck with a pretty pink tractor. Go take a peek, it's out in the pasture. People make fun, but it don't matter. Drives real loud so you can't hear the laughter. Plays a sweet song, turning a corner. Flowery canopy when it gets warmer. When I think about it, just get madder. I got stuck with a pretty pink tractor. Just when I thought it couldn't get no worse, my daddy came by Sunday after church. He said, son, don't you listen to them big mouth jerks. And if people make fun, hit them with your purse and take them for a ride on your pretty pink tractor. Gonna take a picture, I wanna show my pastor. Sure, all the family, I wanna take a gander. So I'm gonna show them your pretty pink tractor. Tell a tubby cover on the seat. It's like a redneck Sesame Street. Whoa, yeah.
In the calluses and lines, years of work and worry had left their mark behind. I remember Daddy's hands, how they held my mama tight and patted my back for something done right. There are things that I've forgotten that I loved about the man, but I'll always remember could live my life again and never take for granted the love in Daddy's hand.
Ding, 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 ding. There he sits inside your local coffee shop, sporting a man bun and facial hair. Somehow he believes, although he has no job, that by his 30s he will be a millionaire. M-I-L-L-E-N-N-I-A-L. Gotta love millennials. M-I-L-L-E-N-N-I-A-L. Gotta love millennials. She posts lots of selfies on her Instagram with the quote that's inspirational. Hopes to change the world while wearing yoga pants, armed with her dreams and knowledge of essential oils. M-I-L-L-E-N-N-I-A-L. Gotta love millennials. M-I-L-L-E-N-N-I-A-L. Gotta love millennials. 27 years old, trying to make it on their own. Maybe start by leaving your parents home, but maybe we're just wrong. Criticism isn't easy for their ears. They feel like they know most everything. See, they grew up with undeserved confidence, 'cause they got trophies just for participating. M-I-L-L-E-N-N-I-A-L. Gotta love millennials. M-I-L-L-E-N-N-I-A-L. Gotta love millennials. In a couple of years, we will have to pass the torch. In a couple of years, they will be in charge, and one will be our president. Oh no. M-I-L-L-E-N-N-I-A-L. Gotta love millennials. M-I-L-L-E-N-N-I-A. Help, please pray for millennials.
That's all, folks. That's my line. Step aside, babe. Let a star do this. That's all!
That's all, folks.
Can I go home now?